We're week 2 in the regular season.
Yeah, but they should still be trying to improve, Eddie.
Yeah, they can improve.
You said you don't want them to.
No, I just, in this game. Then game 3, they can. Yeah,
Okay.
deal?
Sure. But what if Rogue win this game?
Well, then that ruins all the fun.
Because if they say exactly the same, the logic dictates Rogue would win game 2 because they won game 1.
Come on, give us game 3. Yeah. I want this matchup more. I'm having a great time. Now, Taliyah and Ivan taken off the board from Rogue, Azia, and Aurora. Ooh, looks like bans are largely just going to be the same.
No Maokai ban yet from Vitality. They did elect red side as well, so maybe they're going to leave that open and try and get some power picks for themselves. Gwen's still available as well. Obviously, all the champions picked in Game 1. You can see that series ban graphic just above the middle of the scoreboard. That shows you who cannot be selected in Game 2. I think, by the way, we should do Giga Fearless, where on any day, you can't play any champion that's been played that day in the LEC.
But then, like, if you're last in the day, you just have a mega disadvantage.
If you're last on the day, best of 3s, 80 champions are gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. We're not putting you on the decision-making team. Corki going to be locked in for Rogue, a powerful bot lane 2v2. Of course, you do have the flexibility. Larssen, known for his Corki to some degree. And there's always that possibility with the Kalista locked in. After Varus, Kalista still a very powerful laning bully, especially in the hands of Carzzy.
Okay, early
now,
Hwei pick here.
Ooh, my instincts was like, I don't like an early mid pick here, but it's Nisqy support, which means that there is the possibility that it is not a locked-in mid lane pick.
There was a little while when Hwei support was being played.
Yes.
I remember playing it and accidentally pressing the buttons way too often. I don't think we have seen it that much recently. I'm having a look currently at LOL VVV to see how often it's being played. Not very often at all. Often... Oh, Nisqy's played it last month.
A month ago.
When he was practicing. He's played it, yeah, twice last month he played it. 1 win, 1 loss. Luden's companion.
Well, I'm just going to leave it open there. It's a possibility.
Right,
sure. The Maokai locked in already. Rogue have got a very solid draft. I mean, Sejuani game 1, Maokai game 2. And they're going to lock in amid that. Okay, now this is very Rogue.
Yes.
This is about as front to back, scaling, team fighty. Very much a Rogue style of composition. You kind of have that guaranteed late game insurance. You've got strong team fighting. You imagine that Adam's going to play some sort of front line. Into Kalista, Garen is something you really have to be cautious of.
Do we get the Pengu Garen?
I don't think so.
Please tell me.
Competitively,
I really want to go Noot.
I think the skin is banned competitively.
Yeah, but I saw it in my ranked games, and they said it wasn't going to be in ranked, so...
Oh.
Who knows? It would be... it's probably banned because of model changes on the tournament realm, but that would be fun.
But I don't know. Anyway, we'll only worry about that if Garen gets locked in.
I'm worried about
Vitality
it right now,
might even ban the Garen. I think it would make sense. Mundo being locked in, we assume that this is in the jungle. We saw it come out from G2 in week 1. It's been popping up elsewhere as well. I think it's just a very strong tanky jungler, and in particular, it's into mages. Traditionally, like part of the reason why it's so good into Zarya is just because it's a stats check.
Yeah.
Right. You have to have some way of dealing with Mundo, and most mages typically can't.
Also, how do you CC him?
Very true.
Like, he runs at you. You're like, oh, here's a gravity well. Good luck. And he just runs through it.
Very true.
Goes where he pleases. Renekton is the ban here from Vitality, so it could still be a Mundo top. Of course, the way we're debating whether Nisqy will crack that out in the support role would be range support with Kalista, which is something we often see. Usually things like the Renata are put into that slot. Nautilus banned away by Rogue, so they very much think this Hwei is going in mid.
Yeah, I'm not sure what other mid laner you would necessarily pick into the Viktor anyway. Like, I think Hwei is a perfectly fine matchup into the Viktor, and if it was a flex pick, then this is the value. You get to see what your opposition is drafting, and then make your decision based on that. With the Poppy banned away, what are they thinking for top lane? Are they thinking about Jax themselves with Gwen ban? Why would they ban Gwen if they're... Ambessa, probably, yes. Renekton, Poppy, Ambessa, definitely the pick. Good awareness from Rogue. That was a nice ban. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now what direction do you go if you're Vitality? Do you still want to lock in your top laner? Because if they were able to get the Ambessa there, it would have been a relatively safe blind. Nope, but that's what confirm it for is Alistar locked in, means that the Hwei is going to go into the mid lane, and Alistar down bot.
Very purple comp on the side of Vitality.
Very true.
Trying to wonder, like, what jungler or top laner would you pick to make it more purple, Vedi?
Cho is probably a little bit more too
He's a bit
red.
reddish, isn't he? Yeah, kind of ruins the,
but there are purple
theme.
skins.
As LS would say, currently we have a purple mid-range deck coming out on the right side here for Rift-bound players. Play your Mundo in attack mode. Rakan is the lock for... Sorry, I've gone off on this draft.
Totally
Apologies, Rakan is the lock, going to be Corki Rakan in the bot lane. Rakan okay into the Alistar. Obviously, if he combos you, but you can use your Battle Dance to dash out. And if he has already used his Headbutt Pulverize, which Nisqy was very aggressive in using last week, it does make the engage a little bit easier for you. Jayce is the final pick.
I think Rogue were in two minds about the Jayce, because you can blind pick the Jayce, but the... Again, like, how do you deal with the Mundo? They were probably considering...
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, he's going for the Yasuo again.
Yeah, so
okay.
He played this game 2 last week. I will say it wasn't him that won them that game.
Yeah, I don't know if I really like it that much. I think Cho would have been good. I think Camille also would have been good. I don't know if I like the Yasuo that much. You've got Alistar for knockups, you've got Kalista ulti for knockups, but my biggest problem with Yasuo, right, is that he's susceptible to CC, and that might seem like a weird thing to say.
No, I get you.
But it's just one of his biggest strengths is, oh, I get to dash around a bunch, I have my wind wall, I get to stab you, I do a bunch of crits, blah, blah, blah. I'm really good in 1v1s. And
have you met my friend the tree?
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, Gravity Field makes that really difficult. Maokai W makes that really difficult. Rakan Ultimate can also make it really difficult because, again, he's very short-ranged. And that's kind of my concern with Vitality's composition, at least on paper, is that you've got Kalista that's also relatively short range, you've got Yasuo who's short ranged, you've got Alistar trying to engage onto a Maokai. You're kind of very reliant on this Mundo, who shouldn't really be punished by Maokai and should have a relatively free scaling, but yeah, we'll see how the Yasuo pans out. I think there could have been better picks. I think I would have preferred a Cho'Gath a little bit more. In any case, Rogue is very much about scaling. They have good poke, they've got really good range. Corki, Viktor, Jayce, they're going to be hitting you from afar, and they've got a great front line to play around as well.
And let's get into game 2 of the series. Rogue's laning phase in game 1 was a bit of a struggle. They fell behind Vitality, about 3,000 gold or so. Vitality looking to keep that laning phase going, get those early leads again, but maybe close it out with a victory in the end. Lyncas here running fleet footwork on the Mundo. Is going to be Mundo jungle for us.
Keeping my eyes on whether or not there's anything. Ooh, look at Nisqy in the top lane.
Is he going to gank? Is he just placing... so what he's doing here is a second-level mind game, as we call it in the business, Vedi. Often, when players are playing a ranged into melee matchup in top lane, they will place a ward in the second bush, they will have their support place a ward in the second bush, so Naak doesn't have a free bush to stand in the wave to soak XP and just dash out of so he can avoid those ranged auto attacks. Here, Nisqy was like, oh, I will outsmart you outsmarting by coming up here with an Oracle's Alteration to clear out any wards that were there. They weren't any placed by Rogue, so he doesn't get any, but he can switch over to his warding totem on his recall and wait out the cooldown of that before he can place a ward.
Makes sense. Put a boogie in.
Can we go back, guys?
Did not,
return me to the boogie.
Did not know that Mundo had his own theme song where he danced.
He's a businessman. Of course he does.
He's got business to take care of, yeah. Yeah, so... Ooh. Nice. Nisqy with the thumbs up. Gonna knock back Patrik. Deny the E from doing any significant damage. So for those that don't know this mid matchup, Viktor is a lane bully, or he definitely can be in many matchups, just because of the shielding that you get on Q. Means that it's very difficult for a lot of mages in particular to trade back against him. And then when he gets his E, it just outranges most things, and it's... I would describe it as very erratic, in that because of the many angles that it can attack you from, and that there's no like cast trigger, it's very difficult to dodge. So you just get bullied a lot. So Hwei will likely concede priority. He'll likely lose a lot of HP in the early laning phase. And you can already see, you look at the farm, Czajek down about 3 minions, Larssen at perfect CS so far. And again, remind people, this is very much the style of play that we know Larssen for. He likes playing control mages. He's very good at getting advantages in lane when he's playing those control mages. And Czajek is just going to have to do his best to farm as much as he can for now.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Patrik and Execute trying to get this under tower. Headbutt pulverized from Nisqy. Does have the aftershock pot, and I think he had bone plating there as well, so won't take too much damage on the snapback. Czajek is going to get a ward towards the middle of the river, but Malrang's up towards topside doing a full clear, as is Lyncas. He's a little bit ahead, about a camp ahead overall on that Mundo.
I wonder if he'll set his sights on the topside crab. I think it's a little risky given the wave stage. You can see Naak got about 50% HP. Czajek not really in a great healthy spot himself, but he does have a mana advantage over Larssen. This is the downside, of course, when you focus on trading in lane. Oh,
Naak has the shield
from his passive.
From the wind, it's very nice.
The wind?
Right, he's a wind brother, isn't he? A wind bro.
He is.
Gathers some wind up, makes a shield out of it. Is that not how it works?
I don't think so.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure he actually gets that shield from jogging a lot.
Ah, okay.
From sliding, I guess.
How does he slide, Betty? Is it because the wind's on his side?
No, he's very athletic.
Ah, okay.
He's going to have to be athletic to get out of this one.
Malrang goes in with the twisted advance. Once again, the wind shield and the wind wall, but it won't be enough. Adam flashes forward. Naak trying to flash away, but Adam is having none of it. First blood to Rogue.
Nicely done. Lyncas going to steal away the Raptors' respawn. But yeah, it's very difficult to dodge around when you get rooted in place. A nice flash came out from Naak. Made me believe for a second that there was an opportunity for him to actually get a trade kill back. Well, the bot lane of Rogue do not want to allow these Krogs to go.
Lyncas not going to get knocked up there. Battle Dance back from Execute. They're just trying to trade onto Lyncas, but they will keep the Krogs alive, which is nice, or at least that big one there. Lyncas will pop a potion. He'll be okay. So Malrang comes across, picks up his Krogs. Very happy that he didn't lose out too much from that gank on top.
So the top matchup early on already pretty bad. Now there's a serrated Dirk. It doesn't get better. I mean, it will get better later, but not right now. It's not better at all. It's not better at all.
Good knocker from Naak.
Yeah.
The wind has left his lungs, Betty.
Yeah. So, kind of happy I started talking about that when I did. That was a nice solo kill from Adam.
And Nisqy going in, looking for the stun. We'll get it onto Patrik. Execute with a knock-up. Carzzy, though, starting to put those spears in.
Nice barrier. And nice shield from the Battle Dance is enough to keep Patrik alive. No jungler in the area to threaten a dive, though. So while they'll gain a bit of an advantage in the 2 versus 2, I don't think there's really any threat onto Patrik's life. Top side of the map, though, already starting to go very well for Rogue. 22 CS to the 43 of Adam. Remember that the wave was slow pushing away from Naak when he died. So not only did he lose a wave when he died under the tower dive, but he then lost another wave when he got killed on that slow pushing wave. So it's not good for Naak on the top side of the map, and this is part of the risk of running a champion like Yasuo. There will be a point where he can win this matchup.
It might not be this game.
It just... The rate at which you get to that point is now very delayed, and Adam can accelerate the advantage that he has, and as long as he remains an item ahead, it doesn't really matter that much. Maybe at play of the Ruin King, we'll see how things change, but for now, Adam with full control over that top lane matchup.
Lyncas is soloing out this Drake, though, knowing that Malrang path towards the top side. He can go for those Void Gloves if he wants. Adam trading onto Naak again. Accelerated Shock Blast into that extra damage. Adam just absolutely melting through Naak's health, but he is on a struggle bus for 1 in that top lane. I think the rest of the team realizes it if they play around bots.
The other thing is, for the Wind Bros specifically, is they never build things like armor boots or merc treads.
Yeah.
They always have to build Zerka's Greaves, which means that, especially if you do get that early lethality, many other top lane matchups would have just built early armor to help mitigate some of this range pressure, but he's not going to do that.
He can't do it, really. Like, Zerka Greaves you have to have on Yasuo or Odoamne, and also having your flash kind of a prerequisite to
Maokai?
not dying. So Nature's Grasp first. See you where you're going to win wall. Well, he didn't give over an assist, Betty. Yeah, it's getting better.
That's pretty much the best thing you can do in that situation. The downside is you did give full solo experience to Adam.
3 out of 10.
Yeah.
We're a third of the way there, Vitality fans. It's going to be okay. Meanwhile, bot lane, We have seen Lyncas going in, stealing that bot side jungle, forcing Patrik and Execute to be a bit more respectful, which has given Carzzy about a 2-wave, 3-wave lead overall, so he is in an okay spot. Czajek has been able to start pushing Larssen back in this lane as well with that lost chapter start. Larssen just trying to farm up. Actually went Sork Boots first on the Viktor, at least as his first completed item, and misses a couple of minions underneath that tower.
He is 3 off of his E upgrade, which is going to help a lot for the wave clear. And Vitality have now committed to the swap, trying to get Naak out of this matchup.
Surprise! Rogue can swap as well!
Yep.
Importantly, though, they do shove in the wave quickly, which means Patrik is going to lose some XP. Now. Yeah, I agree with the immediate swap back. Arcane Storm coming out with the gravity well down as well. Czajek on the wrong side of that trade. Takes about half his health in total. They do swap back immediately, so it's just about getting Naak a wave wherever they can get Naak a wave right now.
Pretty much. He is just so far behind. He knows that he can be solo killed. It's a very rough spot to be in. Like, the itemization difference is just massive between the top laners. And Adam is definitely the type of player. The problem is, Maokai quite likes tower diving.
Yeah, I think they might just go straight for Naak again. Adam's opening up through mid. Malrang, they're waiting. Puts down a sapling. Will start to tank. Execute looking for the knockup. There's the last breath as well. The twisted advance to drop the tower aggro. Naak ignited. The wind wall down. Nature's Grass coming out as well. Lyncas will block it for him. Naak survives with 120 HP. Importantly, Carzzy and Nisqy continue to push in the bot.
Adam has arrived.
Here. Adam's here for the fight as well. Lyncas has his ultimate. Can go for that maximum dosage. There's the quickness. Double charm, double knockup, double dead for Rogue. They find 2 and should take the tower to boot.
I mean, it's a clean dive from Rogue, and the game plan has been so well executed. Focus Naak, punish the Yasuo pick, and just propel Adam as quickly as they can. 4-0-1 the scoreline now for him. He's gonna secure the top lane tower. That'll be the first of the game. They'll get the feat to strength already once they secure that tower to boot. And
Adam is the gold lead. He's 1.9k ahead, and Rogue are 1.9k ahead. Now it's going to be 2.3 as he does manage to take that first tower. 5-0 as well for Rogue. The only small spot of red is Carzzy, who's about 400 gold ahead after taking some plates in the bot lane. Hey,
Naak, it gets so much worse for him because
he doesn't have flash either. Adam could just flash, red buff's like, oh, just walk. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe Lyncas is on his way. Adam flashes the knockup, misses the shock blast. Trying to get away from Lyncas now, who has a flash of his own, goes in. Looking at that blunt force trauma. Adam, how are you going to get out of this one? Lyncas still chasing him. He dodges away from the infected Bonesaw. Naak dashing back in. Adam trying to get away on about 600 health. Knockup from Naak. Doesn't land! Naak dies to the tower! And Lyncas follows! He was there at the beginning. It's Adam! The first man, the only man in the top lane.
Oh, it falls apart for Vitality. If they could get that kill, it would have been massive for Naak. The shutdown, the experience, potentially tower plates as well. But then they overcommitted. Naak drawing the tower aggro. The E from Adam was flawless underneath the tower, and he converts it into 2. 7-0 now, the kill lead. And Adam is monstrous.
Vitality struggling so much, we can't even use the Brazil meme about them right now. They haven't even picked up a single kill. 11.5 minutes into this game, a 3,000 gold lead for Rogue. 6 grubs, next Drake up in 2 seconds time. They can contest if they want. Adam has TP, Naak does not.
But, I mean...
just push. It's second Drake, who cares, right?
My question is, do you care? If you're Adam, you're probably better off just continuing to play for you. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Yeah, just concede the dragon, take all the topside camps, keep punishing Naak. There's already a 2-level difference, and this isn't like this is a full 2-level difference. Yeah. If Naak dies again, it will be 3.
Almost 2.5, yeah. Oh, so Nisqy is going to come and try and save Naak. Malrang and Execute do not want that to happen. And they might just look for the tier 2. They'll get it. Adam should be able to pick this one up with those 6 grubs.
Now what you do is
something that a lot of people will regularly see is like bot lane becomes your point of strength, right? So like you move them around the map because they have numbers advantage, and so then they use their numbers to create towers. Adam is the point of strength.
Yes.
So Patrik is now the side laner. He goes wherever Adam isn't, and he's allowed to farm. Adam, however, will be given all of the resources, and basically whatever objective is in his way is now what the team plays for. So Larssen will likely just stay in mid lane. They'll bring Adam towards bot, and they'll set their sights on this bot out of tower. It depends how much they care about the Herald. I mean, that's still 3 minutes away, and this bot tier 1 is just a very easy objective to play for. And already you can see Malrang clearing out his bot side camps. I imagine he will likely abandon his top side camps for now and instead utilize the pressure that they have on the bot side to then threaten an invade onto Vitality's bot side and secure those camps that way.
And you can see how much vision Vitality have invested around this area. Execute and Adam
This is a smart play from Vitality.
They're looking for the pick on Execute here. Gleaming Crow round
They
the
want
corner,
Adam.
goes in with the quickness. They're trying to get onto Adam with the last breath. They will, but he manages to escape their clutches. Nature's Grasp used as well by Malrang. There's the TP coming in from both the mid laners. Vitality cannot kill off Adam. Didn't have a summoner to burn, but he did have help. Execute saves him. Larssen flashed away at the end there as well.
The reason why I like that play so much is because Vitality had the same awareness that we did. They knew exactly what Rogue was going to do. They knew that Adam would be the point of pressure, so they just lay in wait for him to arrive into the bot lane so they could get that pick. Unfortunately, they couldn't convert it into a kill, but the idea was very promising.
It was, but great ideas without the execution do not a win make, Vedius, because off that play, Rogue were able to take the tower in the bot lane, their third of the game. Vitality still without a turret, still without a kill, and a 5,000 gold lead looms over their shoulders. Actually, Execute, the player with the second highest gold lead on the team, about 1,000 ahead on this Rakan. I think he's just been around when plates have died.
Yeah, but also, he was there for the top tier 2 tower die and the top tier 1, and so he's just been getting a lot of gold from towers specifically. He So now the easiest play for Rogue is to play for Herald, because rather than going this long back and forth of just waves being cleared in mid, if you can get a bit of chip damage down in advance, it makes the Herald play even easier. But Herald is your most reliable way to unlock that mid tier 1. So you imagine that'll be the next big objective that Rogue will set their sights on. Larssen doesn't have TP, so he'll likely push in this bot wave and then look to regroup with the team as they get ready to contest this next objective.
See Rogue setting up around here right now. They might even push for the tier 2 in the bot lane, trying to keep Nato at bay. They have the easier path, the shortcut through the jungle here. Carzzy and Nisqy can't really do anything about it. Nato does have flash, but he's level 9 with a Vamp Scepter, a dagger, and a little baby sword. He's also got some boots. I don't think that's enough for him. Carzzy dodging away from Patrik. You can't really dodge away from the Gatling gun unless you're behind it, so he will get clipped by that. Patrik going in with the Valkyrie, looking for the damage on Carzzy, uses the barrier. Carzzy!
It's a rocket.
There's the rocket. It's still got the kill. Patrik secures the 1v1 in mid.
I mean, things are just falling apart for Vitality. And the thing about the bot tier 2 play is it's also not any wasted time. You know, the Herald is now respawned. Admittedly, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to now contest it, given that a lot of time was spent securing that bot tier 2, but just more gold is funneled into their pockets. 3.8k is now the individual lead for Adam. And this is just, I mean, it's such a stomp. Rogue are so strong at this point. They will lose the Herald, so a bit of reprieve for Vitality. But Rogue will just come back out onto the map and set their sights on this mid-tier 1.
Makes the most sense for them. For Vitality, you're really looking at Czajek and saying, hey, how many waves can you clear? Can you get these waves before they get close enough to start harassing our towers? And I think the answer is most likely not. He can only be in one place at a time. Currently, he is in mid lane. Importantly for Vitality, they have got 2 dragons, so they've delayed any possible soul from Rogue. They've also got the Rifter that you were talking about, Vedi, which delays the taking of this mid-tier 1. Adam going to get a little bit more gold, and you can see Larssen going down towards the bottom lane, then immediately parts back towards mid. Rogue have a huge man advantage here as the Arcane Storm goes out onto Czajek, forces him away. Execute looking for that flank position, but there's the tier 1 in the mid lane for Rogue. They continue to extend their lead. Nato is up towards the top side. Okay, someone give Execute a dash, guys. Guys, Adam! 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 Okay, it's fine, he's fine.
He's going to be able to get away. Top tower, at the very least, exchanged. Vitality, I admire that they're still trying to be as proactive as they can be on the map. I mean, it's pretty much all they can do.
Execute's going to go for this. Quickness. gets Naako. There's the knock-up onto him as well. Adam trying to open up. Lyncas healing up as well through the fight. The wind wall, not in the best of spots. There's the ignite. Maximum dosage used by Lyncas. Carzzy forced away. Patrik doesn't have the flash. Probably already used the Valkyrie. Nature's Grasp only pings onto one. Carzzy will jump across the wall. There's the Valkyrie out from Patrik, but he can't find that final bit of damage.
Carzzy, at the very limits of his HP there, will be forced to go back to base. So top tier 1 secured for Vitality. They couldn't quite secure the top tier 2, given Execute committed his ultimate to push them away, along with the arrival of Adam. And now the Dragon going to be uncontested in favor of Rogue. Game likely going to slow down quite a lot now, because the next objective is Rakan, which is a very dangerous objective to just force on spawn unless you're able to find a good fight. Which means that, given how much of an advantage Rogue has, this is where, and it's not uncommon, some teams just stagnate.
Rogue time.
I mean, I wouldn't even call it, no, because our new definition of Rogue time is throwing with a lead, which...
They can have multiple times.
I mean, okay, fine, they could. We might have to come up with different names for them.
Rogue time Mark 2,
but the
Electric Boogaloo.
The idea is that when you don't really have that many objectives to play for, you end up not really knowing what to do.
Sure.
And you kind of end up in this kind of paralysis of, well, we don't have any objectives to play for. We could try and play for mid-tier 2, but Hwei just keeps wave clearing, so we're just kind of standing here, not doing anything. And usually the best thing you can do is just get full vision control around the enemy jungle. You basically make it very difficult for Vitality to ever really leave their base, and you try to have numbers advantage so that you can punish them. So for example, if Nako's sitting here, you could try and get a collapse, you can get a pick, you can get a punish.
Blast cone for Adam. Flash, twisted advance, Adam there for the follow-up, and as you say, Vedi, you can look for a pick, you can look for a punish, and that's exactly what Rogue have tried to do. Adam, in the end, having to burn his flash, was locked up, does get the kill. Maybe just waiting to give Patrik an assist.
So this is the idea, but Naako plays it well enough that Adam is forced to go back to base. And the problem is, even if you get these picks, what do you convert it into?
True.
Because on the other side of the map, Carzzy was able to push in that bot wave. He's able to get more gold for himself. You look at the gold difference, he actually has a gold lead over Patrik, and same for Lyncas. So there's an argument to be made that when you're ahead, like pushing your advantage as quickly as you do can sometimes put teams in a tricky situation where they don't know how to accelerate the game. And now the test really is on, like, admittedly, it's a great position to be in.
Especially with a 3-item top laner.
Yes.
Like, he is absolutely massive. Nisqy has to flash. He did decide to blast cone into the pit when none of his lanes were past the halfway mark. That's one of those mistakes that you make at the start of your supporting life and probably don't make as you develop a little bit more as a support. Okay,
this is
Rakan.
an angle for Vitality. The shred from Rakan is nothing to joke about. But can they even gain access to the objective?
Execute and Patrik keeping Lyncas at bay for now. Does have that maximum dosage if he wants to go in. The problem for Vitality is your engage tool is Nisqy flashing into the backline or Naako finding a knockup. Nisqy has no flash, nor does he have Hex Flash, and the poke is too much from Rogue. Carzzy will path up towards the top lane here, maybe trying to catch out someone, but Execute has the flank now and has the quickness, and Carzzy does not have a cleanse. They decide to not go for it, don't know where the rest of Vitality are, but they will take the Rakan. They'll take all of those petals, get them up to about 37 or so.
So that was just very well played from Rogue. They controlled the space incredibly well, utilizing all of Viktor's kits to make it difficult to access the river. On top of that, there's the Maokai saplings. On top of that, if they did encroach on their territory, the Maokai ultimate was ready, along with the Rakan ultimate and the poke from Adam. So you can see how difficult it will be for Vitality's composition to even gain space against this Rogue comp, especially when they're first on the objective. So again, like, you look at the potential win condition for Vitality, and they feel like they get narrower as the game continues. The best hope is to try and find a pick.
Last breath coming out. There's the quickness, though. He'll jump away, back onto Adam, and will escape. So he gets out for the exchange of Nako's ultimate. I think that's really nice from Rogue, though. Execute is actually about 5 seconds of walking ahead of Adam at any one point to make sure they have vision before Adam gets the wave in. And he has so many escape tools. Like, Rakan is a bit of a rat when it comes to that sort of play. You can just get out of dodge very easily. And now Rogue are flanking Vitality. Still a minute before the Drake, so this is more fighting around mid lane prio than anything else. Maybe a little bit of that vision. They'll get a slew of wards as you see the shot blast damage from Adam chunking out all of Vitality.
Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about this so much, but how do you approach this objective? And the idea is that, hey, Mundo can tank a lot of poke, right? He has all this inbuilt regeneration, and he has a lot of HP, and it's like, cool. What if the poke doesn't hit Mundo and it hits everyone else? And you're like, right, that's a, yeah. And that's exactly what's happening. And you'll notice the positioning of Rogue is they're not setting up on the dragon itself, they're setting up around the mid lane. Because in order to gain access to the river, you have to contest the mid wave. So as the contest comes through, as you'll see on your screen right now, that's when the poke connects.
Malrang here was looking to see if they could catch Lyncas or Nisqy. Larssen having to flash away from the Spiraling Despair. Will escape. Nisqy's flash about a third of the way before it comes back off cooldown. Importantly, Adam doesn't have his,
Vitality have found a way into the river. They're utilizing the bot push. The mid wave has only just connected now. Larsen's going to go push that in, but that's enough time bought. Nisqy, though, continues to take more poke.
Adam's Yumu's doing a lot of work. He goes in, he gets onto Adam. There's the last breath follow-up. Adam at half HP, quickness to the backline. Adam still surviving on the back, and you have to feel that's the last nail in the coffin. Carzzy dashing forward. He can only take out Larssen. Lyncas is able to survive for now. Czajek untouched on the backline. Adam can TP back into the play, though. And you could see Vitality's intentions were very, very clear. They wanted to kill off Adam, but Adam had other ideas.
And at this point, you can just see the goal difference in action. If Naak was a little stronger, or if Adam was a little weaker, that could have been an easy kill. It was a well-executed play. Unfortunately, the gold gap is just too big. They're continuing to fight over the dragon. Lyncas could maybe get a steal.
You can look for it, but as soon as Adam arrives, TP's back into the play. Chunks out Lyncas, and Vitality know that they can't contest that anymore. 12-1 now, a 5,000 gold lead, or 4.6. For Rogue, they have 2 Infernals at their belts, which is only buffing up the damage that Adam will have.
So, Nisqy utilizes the Carzzy ultimate in order to close the distance between him and Adam. He finds a nice engage, and again, the follow-up just isn't quite enough damage on Adam. You can see how low he does get. It was nice that Carzzy at the very least got one shut down, but it's really just pennies in the grand scope of what is 4.3k gold lead for Adam.
But if they can kill Adam, Betty, maybe they can do it next time.
Don't know if it matters. I mean, if you want to compare AD carries and mid laners, their itemization is very similar. So if you cut Adam at the start of the fight, yes.
And he hasn't done any damage to you with his accelerated shock blast.
Yeah, you're right, that the gold difference disappears. The game becomes even again. So just, all you have to do is kill Adam, right? Should be easy enough.
Surely. Obviously, you may invest a few resources to do that, and the rest of Rogue will be very happy if you do so. Adam, still unkilled so far, now has 3.5 completed items, 600 gold bounty on his head as well.
He's about to upgrade to Moramani, he's very close. It is delayed because he actually completed Yomo's before he even got a tier. Which I think was the correct decision.
100%. Especially just gives you more by power, right? Like
you were winning so hard.
If you can get double lethality and then stack up the Manamune, I think you're very happy with that. Baron available for Rogue. They can play towards it. Vitality trying to make one last stand, but I don't really know, even if everything goes their way, how effective it is going to be. Nako's still only on an item and a half. As you say, Carzzy and Czajek have 2. So if they do have a bit of time in a fight, maybe they can work their way through Rogue.
Healing reduction as well, very important against this Mundo.
Naak doing what he can to get back into the game, but I think he may be caught out.
TP!
Yeah, I think that's a wise choice. You're kind of forced to make these decisions because you're so far behind, you have to get what gold you can, and so committing your TP to at the very least get another wave and get out, I don't think is the worst decision in the world. Now though, the fight over the mid wave begins once again. Rogue, if they can win another fight, that'll be Baron.
Adam with no Edge of Night. Malrang looking for the Nature's Grasp here. Lyncas is going to block it, doesn't land on anyone else, but they dive onto the jungler, and that's really all they needed. Spiraling Despair on the Rakan. He's going to go down. Nisqy gets an engage onto Malrang, but not really the target you want. And now Larssen, Adam, and Patrik, they just have a shooting party. They can look for anyone. Malrang, he's going to get caught out by Nisqy, who flashed forward to look for further engages. Couldn't find it, so both the junglers now down. Malrang over-eager in chasing Vitality.
He flash W'd onto an Alistar that still had ulti available. I completely agree with you that that was an overforce. Vitality were able to buy themselves a bit of time, as it ends up being a 2-for-1 in the favor of Vitality.
Yeah, really odd for Malrang to want to go for that. As you say, Nisqy still had his ultimate. I do like the flash Q from Nisqy at the end as he's looking for a little bit more, but it's Lyncas who's caught out first.
So they just obliterate the front line. I think this is an easy pick, and it gets traded for the support, not the end of the world. But at this point, Rogue should be setting their sights on Baron. But the flash W in onto the Alistar, who still had that ulti available, he immediately gets punished for it. And as you rightly called, Nisqy looking for an engage where maybe he can stun someone on the backline, but he was a little bit out of reach, so he couldn't quite connect.
I always looking for those places. Alistar is one of the things I think that changes a good Alistar into a great Alistar, the taxi Hwei Q flash, because it just gives so little time for anyone to react. As you say, out of range, so not quite a great Alistar yet from Nisqy, but was trying to make the plays, trying to get his team back in it. Adam clearing out a control ward here. The Baron still the option for Rogue. There's a Drake up in 45 seconds time, though. Would be their third of the game. Obviously doesn't put them on soul, but it gives them something to play around, and something you talked about earlier was that sort of decision paralysis when there's not a major objective to go for. Obviously Baron available, but it's a bit tricky to get. Maybe the Dragon a little bit easier 100%. For Rogue to play in.
Yeah, I think Dragon is the easier play, especially when you're stacking them so effectively. Because you could always argue, like, Vitality's not going to start Baron. They're too far behind. But Vitality can be like,
they have a 3-item
we
Carzzy,
got nothing
right?
left to lose, bro. Like, we're already behind.
3-item attack speed Kalista with Rend, like,
yeah.
And Leandri's Black
I mean, Yasuo's not slow either. He's behind, but I think they've done a good job of Rogue has pushed in the bot wave. They still have control of the mid. They should be able to push in this wave very quickly. Larssen has just gone back to base, picked up 2 large rods.
I actually think it's a really wise call. You send Patrik to go and get the Dragon, keep Adam around because his poke is more effective than Patrik's at the moment. Patrik can solo a Drake, and this way you know that Vitality aren't doing the Dragon. Nisqy is waiting in the wings to see if anyone from Rogue oversteps. Now he's forced away. The Baron was aggro, so Carzzy and Lyncas take a little bit of pain for the trouble of walking back towards that top side.
So Vitality were largely just spectators off the back of that play. They didn't really have any real threat around the Baron. They conceded the mid wave, they conceded the bot wave, they conceded Dragon. I guess you could argue that they stalled a bit. Czajek was able to get a bit of farm. Credit to him, he's done a good job of keeping up with Larssen. The goal difference is largely just the objective difference between the two teams. And so that death cap is going to come through first for Larssen, as you would expect. It doesn't mean that Czajek is that much behind him.
Now Rogue gaining control over the Baron pits. Czajek is catching a wave in the bot side. Nato takes a third of his health from an accelerated shot blast. The Soroda's Grudge now completes as well for Adam. He is in such a strong spot. Has the flash as well. If Nisqy looks for the engage, goes instead onto Patrik. There's the last breath as well. Execute in with the quickness, and Adam could just walk away and chase Carzzy down. The redemption coming out as Adam will kill off Carzzy. Lyncas is going to fall as well. It's a double kill to Larssen towards the top side. Lyncas able to kill Adam. Czajek forced away. You can see Patrik recalling. In the end, a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Rogue.
The problem for Vitality is they're just too far behind. Every pick they tried to find, they just don't quite have enough damage. Lyncas, he is a meaty front line that is difficult to get through, and with Czajek still alive, they can contest this Baron, which is why Rogue is hesitant to commit to it. But do you notice how the game is stalling?
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier, that Rogue just, while they had a huge lead early on, when you take all these objectives, sometimes it can be difficult. I like the fact that they are forcing the Baron, but TP's going to be available for Naak.
Yeah, Adam's still 14 seconds away and doesn't have teleport as well. So Nako's up, he TP's in, Lyncas here, looking for the seal. Czajek spiraling to spare around 20 seconds before that ultimate is off cooldown. As you say, Patrik low HP, Nature's Grass coming out. Lyncas spell immunes it, the quickness from Execute to try and keep everyone at bay. Baron secured for Rogue. Can they get away? Well, Patrik will Valkyrie, and it looks like Rogue have escaped the clutches of Vitality.
I mean, good use of the gravity field, the Maokai ultimate to follow up as well. They just used their tools to zone their opposition away.
Are they looking for this fight?
It's like Lyncas is, he gets rooted.
I mean, they jump onto Lyncas immediately, Rogue! They cheated tempo, Vedi. They stayed around instead of recalling after the Baron, and they find a pick on the enemy jungler. And now Malrang's flashing forward once again. The engage onto Carzzy. The follow-up. Malrang's going to get healed. Redemption from the skies. Adam trying to chunk out Nato, and he'll put him in the dirt. Nisqy follows. Adam is 12, 1, and 6 on this Jayce.
It's a triple kill for Adam, and all 5 members of Rogue are alive. With only Czajek left to defend, I think the Rogue is going to close this series out.
Czajek has good wave play, but those bound-up minions are no slouches. Execute with the flank, and Czajek can say nothing about it. The only spiraling despair in this game is for Naak. 0-9-1 on the Yasuo. Rogue, after picking up their first Game 1 win, will pick up their second Game 2 win and secure their first series in spring.
I mean, ultimately, just a very well-played Game 2. I love the focus on the top side of the map. I love the way that they executed a lot of the map play. Some of the fights and the picks got a little bit scrappy, but ultimately 23 kills to 4. Very little that you can be critical of Rogue in this Game 2.